Whether you're diagnosing electrical issues, inspecting buildings, or exploring the outdoors at night, having built-in thermal imaging makes everything easier. The best thermal camera phones deliver clear heat signatures, fast processing, and rugged performance without needing extra gear. Here are the best 5 thermal camera phones that combine innovation, accuracy, and reliability for real-world use. Links to all products are mentioned in the description below. Let's get started at number 5. Blackview BL9000 Pro Thermal Imaging Camera Phone. Imagine holding a phone that feels like it was forged inside a volcano and then cooled in Arctic waters, just to prove it could survive both. The Blackview BL9000 Pro lands in your hand with the heft of pure capability. Thick rubber armor wrapping every edge, Gorilla Glass 7 staring back at you like it dares the world to try something. Drop it from 5 meters onto concrete. Dunk it under 1.5 meters of water for half an hour. Leave it in a snowbank at -20, or bake it in a car dashboard at 60 Celsius. It just shrugs and keeps running like nothing happened. Then you fire up the Flare Lepton 3.5 thermal camera, and the real magic starts. Suddenly, you're seeing the world in heat signatures sharp enough to spot a lost dog in the woods at night, find a hidden water leak behind drywall, or trace a shorted wire inside a machine before it becomes a fire. The quad-resolution sensor paints temperature differences so clearly you can watch a cup of coffee cool in real time, or detect a deer bedded 50 yards away in total darkness. Snap a thermal image, and the phone instantly builds a professional report you can email to a client or insurance adjuster without ever touching a laptop. Flip to the daylight side, and twin 50-megapixel cameras backed by ArcSoft algorithms deliver photos so crisp you'll forget you're holding a mile from the nearest power outlet. The main sensor kills handshake blur even when you're bouncing along in a side-by-side, while the 120-degree ultra-wide captures entire mountain faces in one frame. Underwater mode lets you film coral reefs or your kid's cannonball in 4K without a housing, and the 120 Hz screen making every swipe and explosion in your favorite game feel like silk. Power comes from a screaming MediaTek Dimensity 8020 backed by 36 gigabytes of RAM, enough to run 49 apps in the background while you stream, navigate, and thermal scan at the same time without a single stutter. Charge the massive 8800 mAh battery from empty to full in under 40 minutes with the 120-watt brick. Then go days without hunting for an outlet. Android 14 and DOOGEE OS 4.0 keep everything fast, private, and loaded with clever extras like real-time video subtitles, one-tap call recording, and an Easy Share app that moves gigabytes faster than Bluetooth ever dreamed. This isn't just a phone. It's a rescue beacon, a diagnostic lab, a cinema, and a tank that happens to make calls. When the world gets rough, the BL9000 Pro gets going. Pros: FLIR precision, indestructible build, blazing speed, and epic battery. Cons: very heavy and thick profile. Number 4. Ulefone Armor 27T Pro 5G Thermal Imaging Camera Phone. The moment you wrap your fingers around the Ulefone Armor 27T Pro, you realize this isn't a phone. It's a survival fortress that happens to make calls. It's thick, aggressive, and weighs like it swallowed a brick. Yet that mass translates into pure confidence when the world turns hostile. 10,600 milliamp hours pulse inside its armored shell. Enough juice to keep the screen glowing for almost 25 straight days on standby, or power your buddy's dead phone twice over with wireless reverse charging while you're miles from civilization. Fire it up, and the Dimensity 6300 tears through Android 14 so fast that games, maps, and thermal imaging run side by side without a hiccup. 24 gigs of RAM laughing at multitasking limits. Then you open the thermal camera, and the night becomes irrelevant. Sharp, 1080 by 1440, heat signatures paint animals moving through pitch-black forest, overheating bearings on a tractor, or a lost hiker under dense canopy, all in crisp, color-coded detail. Switch to the 64-megapixel night vision monster, and total darkness turns green and alive, letting you film or photograph with eerie clarity long after the sun disappears. Daylight belongs to the 50-megapixel main shooter, with its gigantic sensor that drinks light and spits out razor-sharp memories, while the 32-megapixel selfie cam makes you look heroic, even when you're covered in mud. Drop the whole thing 2 meters onto rocks, plunge it 2 meters deep in a creek for half an hour, or bury it in desert sand. The IP68-8, IP69K seals, and Gorilla Glass Victus just yawn and keep working. The 120 Hz screen slashes through motion like butter, bright enough to see in blazing sun, and gentle on eyes when you're staring at maps deep into the night. Need to peer inside an engine block or down a drain pipe? Snap on a U-Smart endoscope, and the phone becomes a professional diagnostic gear. NFC, fingerprint, face unlock, IR blaster, FM radio, customizable hotkey, even a notification LED. Every tool you could want is bolted on and ready. This is the phone you throw in a go bag when storms are coming, when the trail disappears, when the power grid fails, and you'll still have light, heat vision, navigation, and a lifeline that refuses to die. Pros: monster battery, true thermal, night vision king and extreme durability. Cons: very bulky and average speed. Number 3. Ulefone Power Armor 18T Ultra 5G Thermal Imaging Camera Phone. Imagine holding a device that feels like it was forged for explorers, search and rescue teams, and anyone who refuses to let the world slow them down. This beast combines the raw power of a flagship with the unbreakable soul of a true rugged machine. At its heart sits a professional-grade FLIR Lepton 3.5 thermal imaging camera that delivers 4 times the resolution of earlier generations, turning night into a glowing map of heat signatures so you can spot leaking pipes, lost pets, overheating engines, or even people in complete darkness from dozens of meters away. The moment you launch the thermal app, vibrant colors dance across the screen, revealing the invisible world in stunning detail that makes every use feel like stepping into a sci-fi movie. Photography becomes pure joy with the 108-megapixel Samsung ISOCELL HM2 Monster sensor that captures insane levels of detail even in challenging light. Paired with a dedicated 5-megapixel microlens camera offering 60x magnification, you can dive into the microscopic universe or shoot crystal-clear selfies with the 32-megapixel front camera. Every shot bursts with color and sharpness that rivals dedicated cameras twice the price. Powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 7250 processor and a massive 24 GB of RAM, apps launch instantly. Heavy games run buttery smooth, and switching between dozens of tasks never causes a hiccup. The huge 512 GB storage swallows everything you throw at it, and still leaves room for a 2TB card if you ever need more space. The 6.58-inch FHD Plus display, protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5, shines bright under sunlight and refreshes at 120 Hz for silky scrolling and gaming that feels alive under your fingers. Drops, dust, sand, and full submersion in water mean nothing to this warrior thanks to IP68, IP69K, and MyLSTD 811H certifications that let you take it anywhere without a second thought. The enormous 9600mAh battery laughs at normal phones, easily lasting 4 full days of real-world use, or powering through intense thermal scans and 5G streaming without breaking a sweat. When it does need juice, 66W wired charging fills it in under an hour, while 15W wireless charging and reverse charging turn the phone into a power bank for your other gadgets. Running clean Android 14, everything feels snappy and modern, with no bloat slowing you down. Global 5G bands keep you connected at blazing speeds almost anywhere on the planet, and dual SIM support means you can juggle work and personal lines effortlessly. From freezing mountains to scorching deserts, This phone thrives where others fail, giving you tools that feel almost superhuman in everyday tough situations. Pros: thermal vision, extreme durability, insane battery and flagship performance. Cons: heavy build, thick profile. Number 2, Ulefone Armor Mini 20T Pro 5G Thermal Imaging Camera Phone. Picture a phone that slips into your pocket like a credit card, yet carries the soul of a battlefield commander and the eyes of a predator that sees heat through walls. This tiny titan shrinks everything you thought a rugged thermal phone could be into a body just 5.25 inches tall and barely 10.6 ounces light. So small, you forget it's there until you need to see in pitch black, find a lost dog in the snow, or locate a short circuit inside machinery without dragging extra tools. Powered by the same professional FLIR Lepton 3.5 sensor trusted by firefighters and electricians worldwide, it paints the invisible world in vivid thermal color on a crisp screen you can actually read comfortably with one hand, something bulky thermal bricks have never managed. Despite the miniature size, photography refuses to compromise. A gigantic 131-inch 50-megapixel Samsung ISOCELL GN1 sensor drinks in light through an ultra-bright f1.95 aperture, delivering shockingly detailed shots that punch far above the phone's weight class, while the 32-megapixel selfie camera makes sure you look sharp on video calls even from a dusty construction site. The MediaTek Dimensity 6300 octa-core engine paired with 16 GB RAM keeps everything flying, from heavy multitasking to 5G streaming in remote areas, and 256 GB storage plus 2 TB expandable memory means you'll never delete another thermal clip or 4K video to make space. A revolutionary 6200mm or solid-state battery laughs at freezing temperatures down to -20 degrees, refusing to shut down when lesser phones go comatose in the cold. And in ultra-power-saving mode, it can sit on standby for nearly a month. When you do plug in, 33W fast charging and 15W wireless top it up quickly. And it can even reverse charge your earbuds or smartwatch in a pinch. The 4.7-inch HD Plus display, shielded by latest generation Corning Gorilla Glass, stays perfectly readable in blazing sunlight and shrugs off drops that would shatter ordinary screens. Meeting IP68, IP69K, and MIL STD 8110H ratings, it survives full immersion, high-pressure water jets, salt mist, and the kind of abuse that comes from living in pockets next to keys and tools. A ridiculously bright and versatile LED camping light on the top turns it into an instant flashlight, work light, or SOS beacon strong enough to light up an entire room or trail. Running clean Android 15, the experience stays pure and fast without bloat. And global 5G bands keep you connected almost anywhere except a couple of picky US carriers. This is the thermal phone for people who hated how big thermal phones used to be, for technicians who climb ladders, for hikers who count every ounce, for anyone who wants superpowers in a package smaller than their wallet. Pros: pocketable size, thermal imaging, cold-proof battery, and bright LED. Cons: small screen. Number 1 and the winner is DOOGEE Fire 6 Max 2025 5G Thermal Imaging Camera Phone. Get ready to meet the absolute king of never-dying phones, a glowing, heat-seeing monster that laughs at weeks without a charger and turns the darkest wilderness into your personal playground. This machine packs a mind-bending 2800 mAh battery that delivers up to 3,100 hours of standby, meaning you can literally forget about charging for over 4 months if you barely touch it, or hammer it hard with thermal scans, 4K video, and 5G streaming for 10 straight days without ever looking for an outlet. When the unthinkable happens, and it finally asks for power, 33W fast charging revives it in a flash, while 10W reverse charging transforms the phone into a lifeline power bank for everything else in your bag. Thermal imaging reaches new heights with an intelligent dual light fusion system that blends real thermal data with visible light, pushing effective resolution from basic 160x120 all the way to stunning 1440x1080, so you see razor-sharp heat signatures even in pitch black or scorching environments. Spot wild animals, find overheating wiring, or locate a missing person through smoke with clarity that feels almost unfair. The 50-megapixel main camera with anti-shake and morpho-stabilization pairs with a 20-megapixel night vision beast to deliver blur-free photos and 4K videos no matter how wild the conditions get. A huge 6.72-inch FHD plus 120 high-speed display flows like silk whether you're gaming, scrolling maps, or watching movies under the stars, while the MediaTek Dimensity 7250 and massive 20 GB RAM keep dozens of apps and browser tabs flying without a single stutter. Storage sits at a generous 256 GB and expands to 2 TB, so you can hoard thermal footage and offline maps forever. Dual ultra-bright 120-lumen top flashlights blast light strong enough to guide an entire camping group, complete with SOS strobe, timers, and 5 brightness levels, while futuristic rear dynamic LED rings pulse and change color for calls, messages, charging status, and low battery warnings, giving the phone an almost cyberpunk personality. Built to IP68, IP69K, and MIL STD 814H standards, it shrugs off 1.5-meter drops onto concrete, full submersion, high-pressure water jets, and total dust invasion. Wi-Fi 6, NFC for instant payments, precise multi-satellite navigation, and global 5G bands keep you connected and found anywhere on Earth. Running smooth Android 14 with smart privacy features and a clean interface, everything just works. This is the phone for expedition leaders, disaster responders, off-grid adventurers, or anyone who wants to go months without plugging in while still wielding professional thermal vision and flagship-level power in their pocket. Pros: insane battery, enhanced thermal, bright flashlights, and smooth performance. Cons: very heavy. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss our latest tech reviews and updates. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.